Hi, guys, and welcome back to Twisted Locker, your definitive horror podcast. Today, we're going to be doing something very special. We're going to be kicking off our new, hopefully long running series. We're going to be doing verses, where we pit two iconic horror movies up against each other. Now, with this one, they're always going to be evenly matched. They're always going to be two really well made, iconic horror movies. We're not going to pit Street Trash against Green Mile because Green Mile would get slaughtered. It's got to be even, and we've got to have a good argument for both of them. So we're going to be kicking this off with The Shining versus The Exorcist. I'm taking The Shining. Jenks is taking The Exorcist.
Yep.
And we've got 7 plot points, which you'll see throughout the video. And we're going to argue our case as to which one's better, going by each plot as we go along. And then it's up to you guys to decide which one you think won. So once you've seen it, let us know in the comments which one do you think's better. I personally love them both, but I picked The Shining because I prefer The Shining, and I've got a really good argument as to why Shining's the better film. Right, so without further ado, let's get this one kicked off, Jenks, and we're going to start with number 1, plot. Jenks, do you want to kick this one off?
Right. Exorcist is one of the best movies ever, and this is going to be pretty easy because it has one of the greatest plots ever. You've got, what's great about it is quite simple. You've got a little girl gets possessed by a demon called Pazuzu, and from a sweet little girl, she becomes this monstrous thing that's chained to the bed. Now there are going to be spoilers in this review. Obviously, it's not quite a review. But everybody kind of knows The Exorcist. You've seen, even if you haven't seen it, you've seen the girl strapped to the bed, and it's very disturbing. The mother, she's played by Ellen Burstyn, and she's called Chris, and she has to tend to a possessed daughter who's chained to the bed. You've got Father Carras as well, and he's played by Jason Miller, and he's the priest who's helping the mother through this horrible ordeal. And what makes this movie much better than The Shining, without a doubt, okay, is that the mother cannot escape this ordeal. She can't run away. It's the ultimate thing. It's no like as if she'd go up to that room. She has got to go to the room to feed her child. There is no escape. This mother, throughout the whole film, she's trying to be as normal as she can. She takes Regan to the hospital. She takes her to all sorts of different experiments. She thinks there's something wrong mentally, physically, and it takes a very, very famous crucifix scene. Okay, quite iconic and horrendous, for the mother to decide to go and get a priest and eventually the exorcist to get the demon out of her. This the best plot ever. Go for it, Kirst. Can you beat that?
I don't want to throw shots this early in the video, and I will get into my plot details, but you spoke about there being no escape when in The Shining they're literally snowed in up in the Colorado mountains.
Easy.
Stuck there for the winter, all right? Right. So, same with you, Jenks. I think The Shining has one of the greatest plots of all time, obviously coming from a book written by Stephen King and directed by Stanley Kubrick, starring Jack Nicholson. This film is absolutely outstanding. It's as iconic as they come. Right, so we've got the plot, simple but highly effective. We've got Jack Torrance and his family heading for the infamous Overlook Hotel, with Jack being the new caretaker. Snowed under, cabin fever setting in, and a hotel with a spooky past. Jack's sanity starts to drop as the hotel gets its grips around him. Now, that is the plot in a nutshell, but the film is so much more than that. Just the haunting, the tension of this movie and the build up to that finale. Again, we're going to go through the plot points, so I'm not going to go too much into detail about the rest of them. But that's just a basic plot of The Shining, just to kick this video off. Right, we've got round 2, and we've got characters. Kick this one off, Jenks.
Oh well, this is an easy one, okay? Yeah. So you've got a character called a little girl called Regan, played by Linda Blair, and she is such a sweet little girl. And the movie takes it's quite a slow movie, but in the right way. It takes a while. You really feel how sweet this little girl is, and the progression to this monstrous demon chained to the bed. And you've got the brilliant Ellen Burstyn, who's quite underrated, I think. She's a fantastic actress, and yeah, she plays a movie star. And at the start of the movie, she's got a lot of money. She's got a lovely house. She's adored by fans, and you can see her demise while the daughter's demise comes in. So she's got bags under her eyes. She's wearing sunglasses, just to hide the bags. Wearing a hat, and she is declining the same rate. And what I love about her character is that no matter how much money she's got, how much power she's got with being a celebrity, she cannot fix this problem she's got. So I love it, and you got the brilliant Jason Miller who plays Farrah Karras, and he's very vulnerable. He's just lost his mother, and he's kind of the heart and soul of this film, and he eventually then calls on the Exorcist, played by Max von Sydow, who's in lots of films like Minority Report, things like that. And he is absolutely fantastic as the Exorcist. He didn't come into it quite late, but he's amazing. And then you got Pazazu, who's this demon you don't really see. You see like little flashes of him, sort of, but he is terrifying because he's invisible and he embodies this little girl, this sweet little girl, Regan, and every second she's possessed, she's getting more withered and more demon-like, more zombified, and that's why every single character in this film is top notch.
Yeah, good points there, Jenks. Right, on to The Shining. We've obviously got the main lead, played by Jack Nicholson, who quickly became one of the most iconic characters of all time, one of the greatest performances of all time. I honestly can't think of a performance in horror that can trump Jack Nicholson's performance in that movie. No chance in hell. That alone makes this film way better than The Exorcist for Jack Torrance alone. Jack Nicholson, and then you've got the brilliantly over the top Shelley Duvall, who also delivers an iconic performance. Some for the wrong
Annie,
reason, some for the right reason. Do it again.
Annie. Sorry, I can do.
Spot on. Obviously, the iconic screaming scene in the corner when Jack's smashing through. I absolutely love the performance in there. She adds so much to this movie. The most terrifying thing in this movie is how long her cigarette ash gets. That's probably the scariest thing in this movie. Yeah, so obviously you've got Jack Nicholson playing Jack Torrance. We've got Wendy Torrance played by Shelley Duvall, and then we've got Danny Torrance as well. Who plays Danny Torrance? That's the question.
Hugh McGregor.
Danny Lloyd. Danny Lloyd. How did I forget that? Danny Lloyd.
Is it
Danny
Danny
Lloyd plays
Lloyd?
Danny Torrance. Danny Lloyd. Yeah, his name's
Right.
Danny Lloyd. We're gonna go with that.
Is he as good as Jake Lloyd from The Phantom Menace? So that kid that everybody loved.
What a life he's had, poor Star Wars.
Poor
Jesus
bastard.
Christ. I know. Yeah, so we've got these three main characters, and then obviously on top of that as well, we've got all the characters that roam the rooms in the Overlook Hotel. We've got the terrifying woman in the bathroom. We've got what looks like in a bear suit or a dog suit sitting on a bed. There's so many characters, right, that pop in and out of this film, like the previous inhabitants of this terrifying hotel. So along with them and all the main characters that make this film up, I think it absolutely trumps The Exorcist when it comes to characters.
Yep.
Right, and third up, we've got location. What have you got, Jenks?
So location, you got Washington DC in America, and it's Georgetown, very very rich area because she's a movie star, and that's what makes this area so good because it's not in the middle of the woods, it's not in the middle of a snowstorm, which is shit. I hate saying that because I fucking love The Shining. It pained me to say that then. Um, I just love that it's a bit like Poltergeist where it's a very normal place. It's not somewhere creepy. It's not in the middle of nowhere. It's not in the middle of the ocean. It's a lovely, expensive house. But the main location in this movie that invokes so much terror is the bedroom, Regan's bedroom. As the events are going on, the bedroom's getting colder and more sinister. and more ominous that nobody wants to go into that bedroom. And that's pretty much it with locations. You don't need lots of rooms, lots of locations. You've got that bedroom is by far, and the famous steps. But I'll go into that later. Yeah, that's it.
So I've got to go up against a bedroom and a nice house. Ah, this
Yeah.
is too easy, Jenks. Honestly, we thought this was going to be evenly matched. I reckon I'm going to absolutely destroy you here.
No.
Location alone, we've got the Overlook Hotel, right? Based in the mountains of Colorado, you've got these massive gaping landscapes full of snow. Just it really encapsulates how isolated they are up there. Those opening shots when you've got the mountains and the snow, and just that hotel alone, the Overlook Hotel. When you see the set build of that, it's crazy because there's literally nothing behind it. They've literally just built the front of the hotel. Obviously, it's a fictional hotel. They built the front of it. If you see behind the scenes footage, it's insane because there's literally just nothing behind it. So, Overlook Hotel alone, right, destroys anything in The Exorcist, and it is way more iconic than anything The Exorcist has ever delivered, or any film, to be honest. The Overlook Hotel is in everyone's subconscious as like the horror hotel. But on top of that, right, and I'm just going off locations here now, and just a little detail that I love, that everybody loves, is the carpet as well, right? The iconic carpet in the Overlook Hotel becomes its own character. It becomes this carpet that connects all the rooms and runs through every part of the hotel. And obviously it's become one of the most iconic, it's gotta be one of the most iconic carpets in history. I just love the design. Everything in this hotel was like masterly crafted by everyone who worked on this film, Stanley Kubrick, everyone. The location in this movie is by far my favorite location in any movie that's ever been made. And then all of this together, right, it becomes this living, breathing hotel, like a character of its own. Like, well, I was just talking about the main characters in this film, and I didn't mention the hotel itself. Like, the hotel is a character, and it's just amazing. You've got the gold room as well, which should be, you expect to walk in there when Jack Torrance has that scene when he walks in the gold room, and it's just thriving. There's hundreds of people in there. You've got the great bartender, you've got the bathroom chat. The red bathroom is so unsettling. Everything about every location in this movie and every setting, it just induces terror and fear, and it's the perfect location there's ever been for any horror movie. Right, we've got round four and we've got kills. What have you got, Jags?
Right. There's not a lot of
Nothing?
kills in this. There isn't a lot of kills in this because it's a bit of a classier film. You know, if you want kills, go and watch Friday the 13th Part 6. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, this is classy. There's only one proper death in it. I know you got Father Cara's mother dies, but that's not a kill. She just dies in it. It's the only Father Merrin, who's played by Max von Sydow. He dies. Whether he died of a heart attack through stress or whether the demon killed him is very unclear. But one death, but it's an iconic death.
Two
What's
deaths by.
it? Is it a death though? You're talking about the priest, yeah, Father Carax at the end.
No, the guy that gets pushed out the window and falls down the
Yeah,
steps.
Father Carax. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but he's not dead. He's still alive at the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's still moving.
All right, I shouldn't butt in
Yeah.
then. Go on.
I do. Do you know
Say your
what?
piece.
Yeah. I know. What the fuck? Like, trying to sad.
No, there was a guy earlier in the film. I'm sure there's a guy earlier in the film that goes to the party in their house and he ends up going out the window.
Oh yes, you might be right.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You're right.
I
Forgot
think it
about
was the
him.
producer or something, or her director.
Yeah, you're right. The drunk guy. 2 kills.
Yeah,
Beat that.
two kills.
Beat that. I hope I'm not up against like Rambo 4 or something. Yes. Go on, Anne. What's yours? Not a lot of kills in yours either.
Less than two, Jenks. One kill. There's one
Less
kill
than
in this
2.
movie, right? I know. I'm giving you shit here
No,
for lack of kills.
there's 2 kills.
Right, there's one death, one kill.
Yeah, well, same thing, innit? You're being nitpicky
No,
now,
it's
innit?
not. This is kills.
Go
You
on then.
you said that the mother in Exorcist didn't count, so this doesn't
All
count,
right.
right?
Okay. Fair enough.
So there's one murder, one kill, right?
Right. Go
So,
on.
like I said, the kills in this one are slim. We've got one. This film relies more on terrifying imagery and underlining dread, but there is one, and it's a really good, effective kill. You've got Halloran, who also possesses the Shining, and after connecting with Danny, senses his danger in the big finale we've got at the end, but unfortunately comes head to head with Jack and an axe. Because this is the only kill in the film, right? This one really hits hard. Similar to The Shining, when something bad happens, it hits bigger. But this one does really hit hard because you also really fall in love with this character as well. He's really nice and caring and he's nice to Danny. Obviously, he comes straight to his aid to help him. And then just seeing his demise is absolutely horrific. And what I love about this kill, right, and why it's so effective, is the silence as he's creeping through the corridors in this hotel, right? And then Jack Torrance just comes out of nowhere with an axe, boom, straight into his stomach. And then that soundtrack, that really hectic soundtrack, and you've got the screaming. And then it delivers one of my favorite shots, right, in cinema history, just as he falls, and then when Jack looks up after he's killed him. That is one of the most menacing faces you will ever see. And for me, obviously the door scene has become the iconic face of The Shining. Now for me, that one shot where he's down, his hair's messy, he's just killed Halloran with an axe, the way he looks back up and that menacing look on his face, where he's like fully transitioned now into this absolute psychopath. And it really symbolizes that complete transition into this psychopath. And you really see it in this scene, I'd say, for one of the first times when he does that. And it is one of the most effective kills I've seen. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, but every time, he's the worst psychic ever. He can't see a fucking axe coming. Yeah, terrible. And do you know what? Now, when you said, I knew we were going to talk about his death, right? But every time I think of his death, can't stop thinking of Simpsons, the Halloween special where
The Halloween special, yeah.
groundskeeper Willie keeps getting hit with the axe in every single of the segments,
Yeah.
the shiny one. Yeah, good one.
Right, we've got round five and we have Terra. Easy. What have you got for me? Terra and
I mean,
Exorcist.
easy. The Exorcist is one of the most frightening movies in history. Shining relies on jump scares and haunted house.
You are mental. No
I'm telling
chance.
you now, right? The Exorcist is so disturbing. There's no jump scares in it. It's too classy for jump scares. Okay, you've got the horror of that little girl, of Regan's head spinning. You've got the horror of there's one scene where she's just sitting on the bed watching, and it's so terrifying. There's even I tell you what's even scary in this film is when you've got Father Carr's nightmare of his mother, and she's just sitting on the bed dressed in white. It's so creepy. Again, no jump scares. And you've got that horrible image of Pizzazu when he kind of possesses the Father Karras, and that image with the dark under the eyes. It is so frightening. You only see flashes of it, but there's nothing more terrifying. And just the image of seeing Regan strapped to that bed, it's so disturbing. And I think jump scares are fine sometimes, but when you get terror going under your skin, and when Exorcist came out, 1973, and I know this from my mother because she watched it when it came out before I was born. Uh, Her and everybody else was so horrified by this film that it just got under everybody's skin. And when you watch The Exorcist today, it's not dated, it's still frightening and still disturbing. Okay, maybe the head going round would be done better now, but that bedroom invokes so much terror every single time that mother has to set foot in it. And this is by far better than any zombie naked woman in a fucking bathtub. Okay, end of.
You love that scene, all right? You love that scene. So
All
don't
right,
give me that crap. I know we're going against each other, right? But
all
there's
right.
no need to shit on The Shining, okay? It doesn't rely on jump scares, right? You're upsetting me now because I know you like The Shining. I don't like The
Shit.
Exorcist, right? I genuinely think.
Or as if. Carry
Right.
on. Go.
you're barking up the wrong tree here, talking about relying on jump scares and classy horror. The Shining is one of the classiest films ever. It's directed by Stanley Kubrick, one of the most renowned professional directors there's ever been. Right? It's like if Quentin Tarantino directed like a fully fledged horror film, it would be like The Shining. Right? Quentin Tarantino wouldn't have jump scares in his horror films.
No.
Okay, terror. This movie is not lacking in terror one bit. The whole film, right from the first shot, is underlining in terror. Not once in this movie you will feel at ease or have a rest, and is by far one of the best examples I've seen, right, for portraying terror through shots, cinematography, score, pacing. All these things all loom together make for one of the most underlining, terrifying films ever made. You've got Room 237, the mystery, don't go in that room. You've got the rotting elderly lady. The score, Red Rum, that whole scene where Danny's, it's so creepy and unsettling seeing a kid doing the voice. You've got Jack Torrance losing his sanity, that whole build up throughout the film as he slowly loses grip on reality. And after watching this film, right, on repeat since I was young, honestly, I watched this film way too young. It still gives me that horrible gut feeling. There's just something off about this film. Like Stanley Kubrick really, really put together something special here, and he knew how to scare people with, like I said, unsettling shots, cinematography, just the isolation. I know we're only messing about, Jenks, and we're having a bit of banter when you're saying this and that about The Shining when you're trying to make people fall in love with The Exorcist over The Shining. You can do what you want, right? But people have seen The Shining, right? And everything I'm saying, they'll agree with over The Exorcist. And you can talk all the shit you want, right? But this trumps The Exorcist for terror all day long.
No way.
Now,
So
maybe it's
only got
not
one
as
proof machine.
scary.
Only got
Maybe it's
one.
not as scary, but the film as a whole, has much more terror in it than The
No,
Exorcist,
no
in my
chance.
opinion.
No chance.
Right, we have come to the end of our versus video, but we do have one more left. And obviously, we've saved this one for last. We've got ending. Now, which horror film has the best ending? I know which one has the best ending, but you know what, Jenks? I'll let you go first. Plead your case. Go
Well,
on.
I could easily slag off your ending, but I'll save that to the end. The Exorcist has one of the greatest endings, okay? Father Karras, played by Jason Miller, and he takes on the demon himself, lets it come into him to save the little girl, sacrificing himself. Because there is no way they can save this girl. This demon is burrowed in deep to this little girl, and she's fucked, right? And he sacrifices himself because Father Marin's already died. Takes the demon in. He's about to kill Regan, okay, but a choker. But he fights the demon, and he jumps out the window onto the famous iconic stairs in Washington, and just rolls down to his supposed death. Okay, and that is one of the best endings. And the moment you hear Regan's genuine little girl voice, he fucking yawning.
Bored.
Ah,
Terrible ending. Bored.
proper classy ending. Your ending is so amazing that it's not even the same as the book ending. Yeah, make your mind up,
Hey,
okay?
leave that to me, boy. I'll explain the ending of The Shining,
Go
okay?
on then.
You
I
leave
only
that
want to
to
hear the
me.
film, okay? I know the book ending, and come on, carry on.
So we've got the end of The Shining, and finally we end the film on a high. The infamous "Here's Johnny" scene, the fantastic maze scene as Jack chases Danny, crazed and armed with an axe, and that final shot of Jack dead and frozen. One of the greatest images. This film is not short of great images, and that image of Jack frozen at the end is just fantastic. Now, it hasn't got as much depth in the ending as The Shining. Whose case am I arguing here? Is it mine or yours? Like,
No,
I don't know whose case I'm arguing. So it hasn't got as much depth and character as the end of the Exorcist. Obviously, it's not as big of a finale. But
classy, you
that
mean, yeah.
scene, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's classy. That scene, right, where Jack Torrance is trudging through the snow in the maze, freezing cold. He's got his axe and Danny's running through. And like I said, that final shot of Jack Torrance frozen is just etched in my memory for life. And with this, right, we build up to this finale. And in my opinion, it delivers, because it's quite a slow burn of a movie, and then the ending is just hectic. And I think it delivers one of the most perfect endings to cap off one of the most perfect horror movies ever made. That can't be beaten by The Exorcist, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But that does bring our video to an end. We've said there was 6 points. Now it's up to you guys in the comments. I already know. You don't even have to comment. You're watching the video, and I
Just
know you're thinking
just
about which one
remember,
won.
when you vote, just remember 2 things, okay? So just to quickly wrap it up, okay? The Exorcist is by a country mile better than The Shining because there are 2 massive flaws in The Shining, okay? Uh, one, it's a different ending to the book. That's how shit the ending should have been, would have been. And 2, it doesn't make a fucking lick of sense. Doesn't make a lick of sense. You know, you got that picture of Jack at 1920 or something. If he used to be the caretaker before, how come nobody recognizes him? It doesn't make any sense. Stanley Kubrick was batshit crazy, and he just hijacked Shining and just did his own thing and went off on a tangent. Exorcist by a mile. End of video. Yeah, beat that.
Shocking. I got nothing to say to that, Jenks. Do you know what? You've really hurt my feelings there with that one. I wasn't going to go in on The Exorcist to end this video, and I'm not going to. I'm classier than that because I like
Yeah.
The Exorcist. I just think The Shine is better. I'm not going to sit here and slag it off. I'm just going to end the video here and let you guys in the comments decide which one you think is better. Me and Jenks will catch you on the next one.
Cheers, guys.